obviously they're, high level game, high level intensity, great crowd in the arena. The environment was terrific. First I want to say thanks to our fans that came out for the game. To be honest with you, when I took the job, that's what I remembered it kind of looking like when I came in here from another school down south of here. And so it brought me back to those moments when I first walked out. It's what I remembered. And so I want to give our fans a lot of credit. The environment was awesome. I'm sure our players really enjoyed it because they love competition. They love environments like that. It's why you play college basketball, for those type of opportunities. Obviously, we're very humble and grateful to beat a really good Kent team. They have been playing really well, especially on the offensive end. They're a load to guard. They've got really good players, and Rob does a good job coaching them. Thought our defense really stepped up tonight. A number of guys individually in different assignments, and then collectively with our game plan, which, Christian and I are smart enough, we're not going to get into that because we are aware of the fact that we do have to play them a second time and potentially even three. So we're going to, just say our defense was good tonight. Guys executed the game plan really well. They were really locked in. It was a total team effort at that end of the floor. And then obviously offensively, we've been talking for a while about trying to hit our stride on that end. I thought in the second half we really got it going and shared the ball, made a couple adjustments coming out of halftime about what we wanted to do on that end, to do a couple things differently. Thought that helped, but the players made plays. I mean, they got very similar shots that they've been getting here lately, and today they knocked them in. Give them credit. Thought the ball moved better. Thought we took care of the ball and played probably our most complete game of the year. Now we got an opportunity to build on that, obviously heading into Tuesday night against Buffalo. But for right now, honestly, I want those guys to enjoy it and continue to use it. We'll learn from it on Sunday when we get back together. We'll have tomorrow off, and then we'll spend 2 days preparing to play, obviously, a very, very, very good Buffalo team. So the other thing I will say with the defense, because I got asked that on the radio, our guys, it's our guys. I mean, they've really bought into how we defend and the scheme that we play, how we do scouting. When you walk in a locker room and I tell the guys, heck of a win, the first thing they ask is, what's the defensive efficiency rating for the game? I mean, that tells you where their minds are at on that end of the floor, and it takes great sacrifice, a commitment to play really hard and play really together in that way for 40 minutes. And so I give our guys a lot of credit on that end. Questions?
Two for me. Probably little notice, but in the first half and in the second half, both times it looked like they were just about ready to spurt away. And usually coaches wait till that gets to 6, 8, 10. And both times it was like 4 or 6 and you call timeout. Was that premeditated, or what
just a feel thing, Elton? Yeah, really, to be honest with you, I mean,
both times you responded with a quick run right after that.
Yeah, just a feel thing for the vibe of the game, the momentum of the game. I thought in particular what we were addressing mostly in timeouts was, the one area we'll have to get shored up, obviously, when we play them in game 2 is they got us pretty good on the backboard. 15 offensive rebounds and second chance points. They got us in that area. We're fully aware of that. And so, I know at least one of those timeouts, the whole timeout we spent addressing that and talking about, hey, we're playing this our defensive scheme very, very well. And I've used the analogy with them. It's like, running our pre-test fall 6-minute mile. When guys come back to campus, it'd be like running 5 minutes and 55 seconds to get that done at that pace, and then stopping with 5 seconds to go and saying, I'm just going to shut it. We're doing the 5:55. We got to finish the possessions with blockouts better. And easier said than done. Give them credit. They're good on second chance. Offense, I knew that coming into the game, was worried about that, concerned about that, but yeah, it was more just a feel thing that worked out today. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
Lloyd, you talk about your run, not only in the second half, but you had 9 points, according to my notes, in that decisive run in the second half where you really took control. Can you talk about that?
In my mind, I shoot too many shots and I work too hard, so it's just my teammates got me in good position to shoot, so I just tried to make my shots. That's all.
Was there much talk after the Toledo game, or it was just one game and you just get ready for Kent?
We talked about it as a team, but we have to have next play, next game mentality. So that's basically what we focused on.
Lauren, the Chicago area where you're from is just an historic city in the United States for basketball talent, and you were facing on Kent State one Antonio Williams, who was from the Chicago area. Did you have any contact with him? Because that, I'm sure, as you know, that bond is very, very deep. Contact with him before the game rolls.
Nah, I didn't really have much contact with him. There's another player on the team named Kane Harris, and that's one of my good friends. We started playing basketball together when we were younger, so I had a lot of contact with him, but other than that, no.
Lauren,
Up-
go ahead.
Offense has been a particular struggle for you guys up until this game. Number one, is this what you expected from the start of the season?
Yeah, it's what I envisioned, for sure.
And what can this do going forward? I mean, has it been a matter of confidence? Just what? And what can it do for you going forward?
I think it's a little bit of everything, George. Obviously, if we could have put our finger on it, we would have, got it heading in the direction it did there in the second half earlier. But for me, more than anything, it was trying to tweak a couple things, trying to have some conversations with guys about staying with what they do well, and then having belief and faith in our players that what they do well, they will do it well, and that I've used the phrase with you in some of our interviews, water will find its level. Christian just said it. The guys like him and Dan, these guys are good shooters. I know they've struggled a little bit, but, we've hung in there with those guys, and I believe in those guys, and as long as they take good ones, I really believe that that's going to go this way. So we've used a phrase with a couple of the guys, hang in there until you get hot, and so I believe in them. But at the same time, you asked what it could do for you. I really believe, one of the things, I learned a lot of things from being around Clark Kellogg when I was at Ohio State and coaching his boys when I was at Ohio. But one of the things that really stuck with me was you can get only so much confidence as a player from things that you do in workouts and practice, that your ultimate confidence comes from success in games. And that's where you really get your confidence. So what I'm hoping, obviously, George, is the way that we shot the ball and played, and I thought we played the right way for the most part in the second half, that does give our guys certainly some confidence moving forward to know that we have done it in a game against a very, very good opponent and did it at a very high level. So, I'm hoping that, obviously, that we can use it as a trampoline.
Lauren, in the games, when you came here, in the Big West, when you played at Long Beach State, did you have any, like a blood rival like you saw here with Akron? Because I know there were a lot of those schools in the Los Angeles area. Did you have a rival at Long Beach?
Yeah, we had a pretty big rival, UC Irvine.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's not nothing near as big as this rivalry is. So it was kind of shell shocked to see it, and it was very fun to play in.
John, what did you see on Walker? He would usually run off a run like Lauren did tonight.
Yeah, he's
Get his 6-8 points right in a row and really take over a game. And tonight, was there anything defensively, or he was just on an off night in your mind?
Well, obviously he missed some shots that he normally makes. He would probably tell you that as well. I've got unbelievable respect for him and the courage that guy plays with in late game situations. Watching the film coming into this game, certainly watching film of him last year. He is an explosive scorer, and he makes them when his team needs them. We were very fortunate. It was a total team effort on our part. We probably got, a little bit fortunate in that he missed some as well. Obviously, he's a terrific offensive player.
Against Miami, he made some shots that you sit there and it was an awe sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
He goes those type of shots. He did one of those, but did you find anything defensively to stop him in that situation?
Like I said, we were fortunate and lucky that he missed some, and obviously our guys tried to battle and fight him tooth and nail for every minute that he was out there, just like he was testing us every minute during the game. I know this, he makes opposing coaches feel uneasy. because at any time they can make comebacks. We made that point to our guys. Christian was really good the last 4 or 5 minutes reminding our guys, hey, make sure our press offense is ready, because they've come back from 3 possession deficits or more with a couple minutes to go 3 or 4 times. And a lot of that is on the heels of his great offensive play. So, I obviously, we like I said, we were fortunate and humbled and grateful that maybe he didn't have certainly one of his better games here in Game 1, but he's a competitor and he'll be ready to go again next week, and I'll assure you he'll be ready to go in Game 2.
And you're not going to tell us what you did defensively.
What was the defensive efficiency?
I don't know what the number ended up being. That's funny. The guys asked, and Sean Carroll keeps it, our graduate assistant, and he wasn't in the locker room, but we've worked really hard. I mean, the guys, to put it in perspective for you, and I certainly don't mean to be redundant because some of you have heard this, but we finished 274th in the country and last in the MAC last year defensively. Last. And the guys heard about it all off season, and they heard about it, and they heard about it. And obviously personnel changes, Christian being a part of that, certainly has helped, and guys' buy-in has helped. But as of yesterday morning, we were 30th in the country, and that's 244 spot improvement in less than a year. So yeah, I'm going to give these guys. You don't do that unless these guys buy in and play as hard as they're playing on that end, and that's what's given us a chance every night. Obviously tonight, what was the biggest difference was we're not surprised we played defense like that. Obviously it was great, as George mentioned, that we were able to get it going offensively. Go ahead.
First of all, excuse me for interrupting.
No, it's okay.
Guys, in this historic rivalry, you guys are now 1 game back in the all-time series from being 500 even series, but an overwhelming thing in the history of the Akron-Kent State rivalry is the home team taking care of business at their arena. You guys go in to the second game, which will be at the MAC. How important do you guys view that game in terms of, obviously, like I said, putting the series at 500, but also changing the narrative? Yeah,
sure. Well, obviously we've got great respect for the series. We don't shy away from it here. These guys, he'll tell you that. I don't. This is a big time game. It's big for Northeast Ohio. It's big for the University of Akron. It's big for our community. These guys know that. There's a few things we do going into the game that are a little bit different because of the respect we have for the rivalry. But at the same time, now this one's over. We got Buffalo on Tuesday night. We'd be very foolish to be thinking about round 2 of Kent State Akron when we've got Buffalo coming in on Tuesday night. So we'll worry more about that at a later time. But, obviously we know I can only forecast they'll be ready to play and they'll fight and compete like Rob's teams always do. And they've got some older guys on that team, and we're going to get their best shot in game 2. We know that. But in the meantime, that'll get here when it gets here.
With all the offensive struggles, these guys could have easily given up on the defensive end of the ball. And it's happened before.
Yeah.
Why haven't? Why?
Yeah, that's leadership. That comes from me, Jamon, Dan, DR, just focusing, telling our guys we're gonna make shots. We work too hard, but on defense, that's where we got to make our money. So if we get stops on defense, our shots are gonna fall. Then that's how we win games. Defense wins games and it wins championships as well. So that's what we're focusing on.
Christian,
I just wanted to ask you real quick
Yes, ma'am.
about that. How hard was it to buy? I mean, how long do you think it took to buy in? Was it all of camp, or the season before you guys really realized the value of this defensive mindset?
Right when the season was over, Coach brought us into the locker room when we lost against Eastern Michigan and said, you guys feel this, and I didn't want to feel that. I didn't even play, and I don't want to feel that way anymore. So from the first day of camp, we focused on locking in, diving on loose balls, talking as well as we can, and just following Coach's lead, and that's how we got better.
Christian, we talked to you last week about just the rivalry leading up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got a chance to finally play in it. Just what was it like to be sort of in that atmosphere and be out there?
I enjoyed it. That was fun. I watched it last year. I didn't really expect it to be the way it was, so I really enjoyed it. That was fun.